Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining our 2022 Annual Meeting of Stockholders. I'm Ryan Taylor, the Chief Legal and Business Affairs Officer of Palantir Technologies. I'd like to welcome our Board of Directors and Executive Officers who are virtually attending this meeting. We also have with us representatives from Ernst & Young, our independent registered public accounting firm, as well as legal counsel from Wilson Sonsini Goodrich & Rosati. Stockholders are voting on the following matters. 1. Elect 7 directors. 2. Ratify the appointment of Ernst & Young as the company's independent registered public accounting firm for the year ending December 31st, 2022. And 3. Transact any other business that may properly come before the meeting. We have appointed Jim Raitt to act as the Inspector of Election today. He has executed an oath of office to carry out his duties with strict impartiality and to the best of his ability, and he will examine and tabulate the proxies and ballots at this meeting. This annual meeting is being held in accordance with the company's bylaws and Delaware law. We will address the matters described in the company's proxy statement dated April 28, 2022. An agenda for the meeting has been made available, which includes voting on the 2 proposals in our 2022 proxy statement and an announcement of preliminary voting results. Our Board of Directors has fixed the close of business on April 13, 2022 as the record date for determining the stockholders entitled to vote at this meeting. I have an affidavit of distribution from Broadridge Financial Solutions confirming that the notice of internet availability related to this meeting was mailed to stockholders of record, determined as of the close of business on the record date, starting on April 28, 2022. Mr. Raitt reports that a majority of the voting power of the shares of our capital stock issued and outstanding and entitled to vote as of the record date is present at the meeting either virtually or by proxy, which constitutes a quorum. Therefore, today's meeting is duly convened and open for business. We'll now proceed with the formal business of the meeting. It is shortly after 8 a.m., and the polls are open for stockholders who are voting today. If you have already sent in a proxy or voted via the telephone or internet and do not wish to change your vote, no further action is needed. There are 2 proposals to be considered and voted upon by our stockholders. Each of these proposals is more fully described in our proxy statement filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission on April 28, 2022. Proposal number 1. The first proposal is to elect 7 directors: Alexander Karp, Stephen Cohen, Peter Thiel, Alexander Moore, Alexandra Schiff, Lauren Friedman-Statt, and Eric Warshing to serve a 1-year term until our next annual meeting of stockholders and until their successors are duly elected and qualified. No other director nominees have been properly submitted pursuant to our bylaws or the rules of the Securities and Exchange Commission, so no other nominations are being considered. 6 of the 7 director nominees are currently serving on our board, and our Board of Directors recommends a vote for all of the director nominees. Proposal number 2. The second proposal is to ratify the appointment of Ernst & Young as our independent registered public accounting firm for our fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022. Our Board of Directors recommends a vote for the ratification of the appointment of Ernst & Young. As previously mentioned, if you already submitted a proxy or voted via the telephone or internet and do not wish to change your vote, no further action is needed at this time. For everyone else, we will leave the polls open for another minute to allow anyone who chooses to vote electronically to cast their ballots so your vote can be counted by the Inspector of Election. It is approximately 8:10 a.m. and the polls are now closed. No additional ballots, proxies, or votes, and no changes or revocations will be accepted. Based on the preliminary voting results as reported by the Inspector of Election, the stockholders have elected the 7 nominated directors to serve until our next annual meeting of stockholders and until their successors are duly elected and qualified, and ratified the appointment of Ernst & Young as our independent registered public accounting firm for our fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022. The final voting results will be set forth in a report of the Inspector of Election and will be included with the minutes of this meeting. We will also report the final voting results on Form 8-K, which we will file with the Securities and Exchange Commission within 4 business days of today's date. This concludes our planned agenda today. As there is no other formal business before us, this annual meeting is adjourned.